I work 6 days a week, so if you're struggling to make content, this video is for you.
Ain't looking for much of many, cause we got plenty. No line of division, we're all heaven sent. Cause I really want you to know that I love you from the highest peak to low. There ain't nothing that will block our path to grow. We can work it out. If you're lost in the blue, just tell me we'll choose to open the door, loving some more. If you follow the light, show me the right path to walk on, to open our hearts.
So it's really nice here in New York City, like about 70 degrees. And anyways, we're not here for that. About a month ago, I had like around 500 subscribers and I was able to experience some growth. We went from 500 to whatever we have right now. And I believe it is because I made a couple of changes to the way I create content. I realized that I was making certain mistakes. I was able to fix that, and because of that, I experienced some growth. So in this video, I want to share 5 mistakes that I changed in the way I make and view content, and how you can probably fix that as well, just like I did. So one of the first mistakes I was making is basically thinking that I didn't have enough gear, so I would take a whole bunch of gear to every shoot that I had, and that basically made things so much worse. Now I try to keep things to a minimum. Like I use my phone to film a lot of the shots that you saw already. I use like a cage for the phone, and I also put like a lens right on the lenses, an ND filter, so that I can block the light just like you do with these regular cameras, so that I can get the proper exposure. I don't use gimbals, drones, or anything that I believe slows me down, because since I don't have that much time, I need to be effective. I need to get the shot that is going to complement my story, and I don't really care much about overdoing things. Basically, if it doesn't fit in my bag, I don't want it, I don't want to bring it, and I don't want to buy it. I keep things simple because at the end of the day, all I have to do is get the shots and move on. That was a terrible shot. That's better. So another big mistake that I used to do a lot is to overplan. Basically, I used to go and get a shot list, plan the locations, everything had to be perfect, and that's all good. But if you're not getting things done with the little amount of time you have on your time off, then you're overdoing things, and I was overdoing things. So the way I do things now is that all I need to know is the title, the thumbnail, my voiceover, and pick the location. Because I have a background in photography as a hobby, that helps me a lot. As you know, a lot of photographers, they just go to the location that they pick and they improvise. And that's a hard skill to master, but because I started as a photographer, that has helped me a lot. Okay, so we're moving to number 3. This is not scripted, that is why I got my phone here. The third one is not having a workflow. What I mean by not having a workflow is, for example, I do the widescreen and the 4x3 a lot. And if I know this, because as an editor, I'm not an editor full-time, but you get what I'm saying. Nobody knows yourself while editing better than you. So if you know that you're using certain effects all the time, make presets. Don't don't make them brand new all the time because you're wasting your time a lot. Also, what a lot of people don't do is every time you don't have any inspiration, try to go and listen to music. Gather music and organize your music by genre and all that. Because once you start editing, right? If you don't know what kind of song to actually choose, might be because you have no organization in your music library. You should have a music library of your own. I have different folders of cinematic music. I got hip hop, I got R&B, I got vlog music, I got everything. So that way, when I'm editing, all I need to focus on is editing, telling the story, and all of that. I don't need to go and do music research when I'm editing, because when I'm editing, it is time to edit. Also, when I'm color grading, I use Dehancer Pro. A lot of people know this, but I use it because it's great, but not only because it's great. I also use it because it is part of my workflow now. I get the film look really easily. You understand? So I don't want to be trying to figure things out at the time of color grading. I just want to get the look I want at the time of color grading and move on. I do the same with audio. I got different plugins that fix my audio automatically, so that if I had to make minor adjustments to fix my audio, that's fine. But I don't want to do the whole EQ and the auto docking and all that. So I have presets that help me do that all the time. And I have presets for different microphones. I have a preset for this one. I have a preset for my Zoom H6, which is the one that I use for the voiceover. So I have a preset for about everything, even timeline. This is really important because this actually changed the way that I create content, period. So this is probably my biggest tip here. I'm not sure, but it's probably my biggest tip. So my biggest tip and the biggest mistake that I was making is making content for others instead of creating videos that I wanted to make. So basically, I used to do research on things that were actually trending in my niche, right? So if I saw a video do well, I would go ahead and try to mimic something similar. And that's a big mistake because in reality, I didn't want to make an airball. I didn't want to make that kind of videos. So that when you do that, right, I noticed that you feel forced to make videos that you don't want to make. And when you are doing that, you're not happy. And that's gonna be very hard for you, trust me. Because it was for me, and I can tell you by experience. So as soon as I started creating content that I love, that I wanted to watch, that completely changed the way I film and the way actually people see me, because I noticed that they enjoyed it, and they enjoyed it because I enjoyed them. So from now on, every video I make is something that I would like to see on YouTube, period. So last but not least, waiting to be who you are not yet. This one is pretty interesting because once I figured this out, I started making content that was different than a lot of people, that was authentic to myself, to the things I love, because everybody is special and everybody is different because of the things you love, right? So what I mean by this is when I first started making videos, I would research other creators that were in my niche, just like that were successful in my niche, right? And kind of like I was imitating them, the way they spoke, the way they created and all that. I was really imitating them instead of being myself. And that shows. People can tell when you're not being yourself. And it is hard to be yourself when you put a camera in front of you and you're not talking to anyone. But, you know, when I drive trucks, since I've been doing that for a long time, it is very easy for me to grab a box truck, a tractor trailer, and freaking drive it all over New York City. I've been doing it for more than 10 years, so it is easy for me, right? But when you start doing these things, it is hard for me to talk to the camera, right? And the reason why I picked this location is because I love basketball. Even though today I'm sucking real hard, but I love basketball. And this makes me comfortable to talk to you guys, even though I keep missing my shots. But what I'm trying to say here is you're going to find yourself, right? You're going to find your own style. You're going to find your own way of talking to the camera and all that, even your own style of editing, your own style of on everything, right? But you won't get there until you put in your work. You gotta get at least 50 to 100 videos in order to master this kind of thing, right? I haven't mastered it yet. I am not yet my full self, right? I'm not who I want to be, right? Yet. But I'm going to get there the more I do this. That was terrible. Don't be nice. Ah! Let me try one more. No! Yes! Thank you.